So what's the feeling coming out of this? I know Matt's always said you never apologize for a win, and a win is a win and all that. But how do you guys feel coming out of it?
Oh, great, 3-1. That feels great after that first four game stretch, and yeah, win's a win. That was a ugly first half, good second half, but yeah, we're gonna celebrate this, and now the schedule gets physically demanding as far as travel.
Does quality of win matter at all? I mean, going
Not to
against
us.
number 3.
Matters to the coaches because then they can really pick on certain things to emphasize. But every opponent's different, and we all match up differently. Bill's great coach. He had a great scheme. The guys made some plays, but I felt like we got into a rhythm in the second half with some of the play calls. I settled in and usually don't have two terrible halves. So I kind of returned to the form I expect for myself, and we started moving the football.
What do you kind of say to yourself in the locker after the first half you had? I mean, what goes through your mind? What do you kind of say to yourself at halftime? Because clearly you've turned it around from that point forward.
I've been a great player for a long time, so not a whole lot I need to tell myself. Just play better.
You done? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, what was the cat and mouse you were going with between how they were playing, at least their safeties, and then you would take a deep shot every once in a while? Were they running their safety down? Were you getting one-on-ones? What was the reason?
They were funneling a lot to the middle, so we needed to take some shots on the outside. Much like last week when we stalled against man coverage, a lot of the opportunities are outside the numbers, so we needed to take some shots down the field. Had some opportunities. I underthrew Christian on one. Obviously, Romeo had a chance to take that one all the way to the ground. And then had a couple others where we just, were a little bit off. But we need to take some shots, and we're going to continue to take some shots if we're going to see a lot of man.
Aaron, on that one to Romeo just before the 2-minute warning, what did you see? And did you think that was worth the challenge there? It could have saved you a timeout and given you more time at the end?
Yeah, I know Matt feels bad about that. They lined up in their zero pressure, so we're in empty formation. They have 6 kind of in the box. We had a plan for that. I checked to a different play, and when I checked, they checked out of it to 1 high. I kept the original routes on, which was goes on the outside. And I was looking left on the corner of my eye. I just felt like Romes was running past him. Now, a little bit of wind, I'd probably underthrown by about a yard. But to me, it looked, I was celebrating. And then Matt Judon was standing next to me, and he goes, "You dropped it." I was like, "Really? What?" And then they showed the replay, and you got to take it all the way to the ground.
How much credit does the Patriots defense deserve to?
Yeah, I mean, they played well. They did some good things. I felt like we blocked them up pretty good, though. We had 440-plus yards of offense. But yeah, I always give Bill credit. He's a hell of a coach.
You had a pretty lengthy embrace with him at the end of the game. What does it mean to you to have that relationship with Bill, and can you share anything that was said between you guys?
Nope. But cooler than that is before the game he came over and we shared some words. It's nice to be able to have some private conversations from time to time. And he came over, we were in throwing lines, and we had a nice embrace and shared some words back and forth. The truth is always the easiest to say. So the things I said about Bill last week I meant, the way that he coaches and his success he's had. He's a phenomenal leader and always has his guys ready to play. And that was some of the sentiments I'm sure that I echoed, and the rest I'll leave to some of the stray microphones that probably caught some of it.
Along those lines, does it mean something extra to beat them? I mean, this may be the last time you're ever facing, And you guys are obviously 2 of the legends of what you do.
Yeah, it likely is the last time. So a lot of respect for Bill. Nice to beat him. That brings us to Tom.
do? The 2-1?
2-1, although I played a lot in 06.
We don't know.
Yeah. That wasn't a pretty day at 06. I think I completed 4 passes for 33 yards. Tom checked me on that one, but a lot of respect for Bill. He's a legend and deserves all the credit that he gets.
And you said in Minnesota week 1 that the patience with maybe young guys making mental errors would wear thin as the season went on. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed with 84 there was one time where he was lined up wrong. It seemed that maybe Josh snapped the ball a little too late when guys were trying to get an extra play. Where is the patience level with some of those, and did you feel that there were too many of those today?
I heard they caught maybe something I might have said to Tyler. Those are private conversations. Listen, simple things like right and lefts. Like I'm not judging here. Every now and then I might, think I said, right and it came out of left, but I know for a fact I was right on my direction at that time, and Tyler landed in the wrong spot. The play is a very simple play. It's his play for that week, so that's why I was a little bit upset about that. But I apologize to Tyler and only to Tyler for that, what I said. Josh sometimes snaps the ball a little bit to the right, and I had no patience for that. But I love Josh.
You've thrown a lot of passes. I'm sorry, did I interrupt you there?
No.
That's only the 4th pick 6 that you've thrown. What did you see there, and what goes through your mind when that happens?
Do you really want to know? I've thrown 4 pick 6s and at least 2 of them on that route. So those are frustrating. I mean, I almost missed the throw so badly he overran it. That would have been nice. If I throw the ball, where I was supposed to, he probably picks it right in stride. He kind of had to catch it behind him. But it's frustrating, for sure. I felt like before the game I even said it, hey, I think the only people that can beat us are ourselves. I felt that last week, even though Tampa's a great team. And so 7-3 there, as ugly as it was, to go into halftime, 7-3 is obviously better than throwing a freaking pick 6 and being down 10-7. So yeah, had a little conversation with myself. Might have had an assist from David Bakhtiari in the locker room, and went back out there, played a little bit better.
Aaron, on Dobbs' fumble in the first drive, was that throw where you wanted it? And does the good he does make you able to live with plays like that more?
Yeah, that was not a good throw. Nice catch by him. Almost wish he dropped it. But I actually kind of screwed up that one in my head when I was calling it and tried to adjust it. Actually made the right adjustment, but threw the ball much more inside than I wanted. He just, he needs to just take the ball to the ground. That we know that team is real good at punching the ball out. But look, Romeo's growing. He's making some plays. Hit him twice in that last drive, so obviously I have confidence in him. Went to him on the key 3rd down with 2 minutes left in the game. So I'm not going to lose confidence in him. Obviously, we'll hold him accountable, but he's a great kid. I threw a 3rd down back shoulder fade to him for a touchdown. I'd say I got some confidence in him.
Aaron, with your checks at the line of scrimmage, sometimes you guys flirt with the bottom of the play clock and then running to 0 and then a tick after. Obviously, on the other side of the ball, 2 of those have gone kind of against you this past week. As a quarterback, do you see those as something that you just like? You like that extra tick, or were these egregious and should have been penalties in your opinion?
Which ones?
The play last week that ended in a touchdown for Tampa, and then there was a play where it looked like there was maybe 3 seconds after that, or like a couple seconds after that, they did not call a delay game where it looked like it could have been on the touchdown.
On them?
Yes.
Today? Today?
Yes.
Which touchdown? I didn't see that, so.
Okay.
But yeah, we flirt with the zeros a lot. But I felt like we had a good tempo today. I thought the line played really well. We rushed for 199 yards and 1 sack. So I thought they were great. I thought Josh was, other than 2 kind of right snaps, was really on today with all the checks and the cans. And I thought Johnny played well inside. It felt like Dave played well. So it's good having Dave and Elton out there. Obviously, Dave's feeling better because I think he only came out for maybe 1 or 2 series. But, yeah, we got to keep working on the tempo. They were really spotting it quick and getting it going. But this week, as much as any, and we knew it, there were some really wordy calls. You know, I'm talking like 16, 17, 18 syllables on some of these. So hopefully we cut a little bit of that down next week.
And you mentioned that down section. That was number 500 for you if you count the playoffs. I know you've talked about these in the past. It's a lot, but doesn't mean a whole lot for you. But 500 is kind of a nice round number.
Yeah, it's a fun number. That's a lot of touchdowns. You know, it's been at some of those. Been some interesting stories around the century marks for those. You know, a couple that I didn't get to. I don't know where that ball went. I'm sure Romeo's got it somewhere, but it means I've played a long time. A lot of different guys involved in that. Not sure I could name all of them. I could probably name many of them, but fun to get Romeo that one, especially on a really great play by him. You know, really nice release. And then not expecting, because I told him during the week, I don't want you guys expecting the back shoulders. You know, I'm sure they watched the preseason tape, so I want you to try and win on top. And the timing that he had was excellent because he really tried to win back on top on the ball. He wasn't waiting for the back shoulder, so he's got really strong hands. Love for him to, you know, I told him after the game, I said, I'm going to keep coming to you. I'm proud of you. That was awesome the last drive, awesome on the back shoulder. And it would have been a spectacular game finishing that one off. But he's a great kid. Really proud of him. Happy he's ours.
Two more for Aaron. You did have a broken foot for those 4 completions that you had in 06, right?
Well, for a few of them, yeah.
Look, you said you don't usually play 2 terrible halves, but you did have the throw to Allen where he makes the big catch in front of their bench to get you guys going on the Tunyon touchdown drive. I'm just wondering, though, against a team that isn't playing a rookie third-string quarterback, and I mean, is winning this way, where your defense isn't as great as advertised, and you don't play as well as you expect, is this sustainable for you guys?
Sustainable? I think winning is sustainable for sure. I think we're going to have to play a little bit better against starting quarterbacks, and if our defense isn't playing as well as they can. I thought their line, you know, seemed to open up some holes, and they kind of kept with some of that outside zone stretch stuff and some lead. But if we just get into a rhythm and start a little bit faster, we can alleviate some of the things. That's why I felt like we scored to make it 7-3. I'm thinking we get this to 2 scores. Now they're one-dimensional. Now our pass rush is getting after them. So this way of winning, I don't think is sustainable because it's just pushed too much pressure on our defense and obviously I got to play better and will play better. But the second half is our kind of football where we're mixing it up, we're throwing the ball outside the numbers. Obviously we ran the ball, controlled line of scrimmage really well. But we got to play better in all 3 phases. That being said, listen, this is a New England team that's not as bad as their record. They're 1-3. They're obviously incredibly well coached. Brian only played, I think, a series or 2 series. And then the third guy comes in. Obviously, Mac's dealing with an injury, so this is a game we had to win for sure. I mean, you can't be 2-2 losing to a third-string quarterback and not playing great in all 3 phases. So we had to have this one. That doesn't take anything away from the joy of winning, but this is the one we had to have.
What did you think of the way their third guy played, kind of being forced into action there?
I thought he made some nice plays. I mean, they obviously ran the ball pretty well. They set up some action stuff, and they ran kind of the same stuff we've been seeing, you know, some deep crossers and some individual routes. But I thought he threw the ball nice. He had the one turnover, but overall, you know, I thought he made some nice throws and didn't seem like he missed any that he should have had.